Welcome to the Dr. G and Kevin Lawrence Show. I'm Kevin Lawrence, and across from me, behind that other mic, my friends, is my dad, Dr. Gary Lawrence. And around here, we just call him Dr. G. Now, we are a father and son team dedicated to helping you experience a new financial future right now. Dr. G and I believe that successful people are not people without problems. They are people who have learned how to solve their problems. So as you listen, we hope you'll be entertained, educated, and encouraged to begin experiencing your new financial future today. So glad that you are riding along with us. One of my favorite verses is Genesis chapter 1, verse 1. In the beginning. Man, I like that. In the beginning. You know, I love beginnings. Beginnings are a time for new creations. Beginnings are a time of excitement. Beginnings are a time for newness. Today's the beginning of the week. Today's the beginning of the rest of your life. And God has given you the power to create something new. You have permission to be excited about your new day and your new week, and allow the newness of this moment to just refresh you as you listen to Dr. G and Kevin Lawrence. You know, the truth is you have every day, every hour, every minute, every moment to make a new choice. And a well-known author and business leader, Jim Rohn, says it this way: you can't change your destination overnight, but you can change your direction. You know, in fact, by the end of the show, I hope you will have made a decision to change your direction to a new financial future that you can create and control. And Dad, this is exactly what you and I do, and why we are on the radio every day, to reach our listeners so they can see the potential and power of their choices.
Well, and you know, Kevin, so many Christian people literally have no direction. Mm-hmm. They don't know where they're going. They are, I'm going to say, out of focus with what really God wants them to create with their life and their future.
Or even the ability, knowing they have the power to create that.
Exactly, and they do have the power. And that's what you and I are all about. Monday through Friday, we're on the radio, reaching out to the Christian community, giving them a message of hope. As a matter of fact, I met with a couple just this last week, and I said, I'm curious, why did you finally decide to call me after listening to me for several months? She said, you brought hope and inspiration to me. And I said, now I want to ask you this. Are you ready to act on that hope and inspiration?
Yeah, absolutely.
Are you ready to change directions?
And create something new.
Right. And to help you and I, help our audience believe they can change directions, we're focusing this week on several of the key female leaders of our local team, Scottsdale Renatus Team Elevate. And we have Alice Montoya as our guest today. And Alice has been a stalwart of, I'm going to say, the faith and consistency of helping us build our team here in the Valley. She's a 50-year-old lady who spent years in the legal and accounting background, and now she's turned entrepreneur. And she and her husband, Joe, have been married over 30 years. And we invited her to be our guest, and she was so gracious to accept the offer. So let's bring her on. Alice Montoya, what a joy to have you on the air with us today.
Good morning, Dr. Gary. My pleasure.
And do you live in Glendale or Peoria?
I live in Phoenix.
Oh, you live in Phoenix. Well,
Neither
there you
one.
go.
She lives in Phoenix.
Let me introduce her, Alice Montoya from somewhere in the Valley.
That's great.
Yes.
It's a joy to have you on, Alice. So, Alice, how did you first hear of Renatus? What was going on in your life at the time that you were introduced to Renatus?
Well, I was a stay-at-home mother, full-time wife, raising my children and homeschooling them. And when I first found Renatus, I heard an amazing man on the radio named Dr. Gary.
Oh, I was going to say, hold on, Alice. Now, when you said I heard amazing man on the radio, right then I knew it couldn't have been Dr. G.
You thought she was talking about you, right?
I thought she was talking about someone else, because when she found out about Renatus, I wasn't even enrolled yet.
So I'm just curious, Alice, how long did you listen to us on the radio before you finally contacted us?
2 months.
2 months. And then what inspired you to finally pick up that old heavy phone and call us?
Well, what inspired me is I heard you on the radio interviewing Scott Rowe, and I knew he was one of Renatus' top income earners.
Mm-hmm.
You had invited the listeners to come on down and attend the Scottsdale Regional. That was back in October of 2015.
Wow, my goodness.
2015. It's been a while then.
Yeah.
I told my husband about it. He encouraged me to go. So I attended the 2-day training with our CEO, Bob Snyder, and Scott and Nancy Rowe and Woody Woodward.
Now let me get this straight. Here's Alice Montoya. At that time, you were 47, going on 48. You had homeschooled your children, and you said, Joe, I heard this fellow on the radio. It's all about real estate investing, and they're having a regional meeting, and the CEO and founder of the company, Bob Snyder, is coming in. Some of the top income earners are coming in to speak, and I'm really interested in pursuing the avenue of learning how to become a successful real estate investor. And your husband, Joe, says, yeah, go ahead, man, have fun. How did you feel about that? I mean, you're stepping out of that comfort zone of yours, Alice, am I right?
Yes, sir. Well, I knew I had to do something, Dr. Gary. Knowing that my husband was working full-time job, and coming from the background that I worked at previously, that wasn't something in the future that I could see myself going back to. I didn't want to go back to working in a cubby. I didn't want to go back to answering phones all day long and having someone tell me what time I needed to come in and when I can take time off.
Wow.
Well, I want to know, what was it, Alice, that you heard him say? What was the picture that was being created that you went, yeah, I think that's where I could bring myself?
Well, I heard him say that this is, something that we can create, something that we can be intentional about, and something that would take time to do. It's not a sprint. This is a marathon.
Mm-hmm.
I'm sorry, go ahead.
And the other thing is just knowing that God put me on this earth and He's given me a purpose is what really inspired me. I knew I wasn't created to go to a full-time job again and having someone tell me when I can take time off.
I love that.
Did you hear I knew that he had given me a work to do, but I had something within me that I knew it was going to be real estate.
Something a whole lot larger than sitting in an office with about 40 other people working out of a cubby, right?
Right. Something bigger than myself.
Absolutely. And Alice, when you talk about real estate, did you have real estate experience in the past? Had you invested in real estate? Have you ever had your own business, or is this something completely new to you?
Well, it wasn't something new to me per se. I worked for a real estate broker for about 4 years, and his primary focus was just selling raw land. Okay. And back at that time, I was about 25 years old. He was selling 40-acre parcels for $9.95 an acre, and I turned the offer down. I said, "No, it's not for me." He wanted it. He offered to send me to real estate school to become a real estate agent. Mm-hmm. And I saw the salespeople sales individuals that I worked with, and it was something I didn't see myself doing. But I wasn't. The problem was, Kevin, is it was a job for me. It wasn't something I was looking at doing in the future. So I wasn't looking at, the next 5, 10, 15 years.
So what I hear you saying is, now that you're involved with Renatus, and I need to tell our audience, Kevin, Renatus is a Latin term for rebirth, and Renatus is the premier real estate investing education system in America. And what I'm hearing you say, Alice, that becoming part of our local team of real estate investors, you knew that you could create a lifestyle and not just have another job.
Yes.
Right, and being able, and looking at that broker you worked with, you saw him and other agents, you saw that more as a job than being able to create what you wanted.
Exactly.
Yeah. Well, and that's the truth. And most people think that if I want to start real estate investing, I should get my realtor's license.
Right.
And hopefully they'll teach me how to invest in real estate. But the truth of the matter is, getting your realtor's license just teaches you how to not get sued when you sell a property. You know?
It's just a crash course in learning how to obey the laws of the state of Arizona.
Yeah, to become
exactly
a proficient, to become a proficient real estate investor, to cash flow and build a sustainable portfolio. That's a completely different level of education.
And let me say this: for those of you who are real estate agents and just heard what I said about that, taking a course in learning how to become a licensed real estate agent is nothing more than a crash course. I'm not trying to be offensive. I'm being factual.
Well, give your email. They'd love to send you an email on that.
I will. My email is winwithgary@yahoo.com. And I'm literally...
And email Dr. G and let him know your thoughts about that.
Yeah, because, hey, I'll tell you what. Being a licensed real estate agent and learning how to become a successful real estate investor are worlds and worlds apart from
That is
each
a
other.
fact. Absolutely.
Ladies and gentlemen, listen to the Dr. G and Kevin Lawrence Show and Alice Montoya from Phoenix, Arizona, right here, our very own city.
Yeah.
That's the center of it all. And she and her husband, Joe, have been married for 30 years. Alice says, I'm going to create a new path for my husband and I. Ladies and gentlemen, how can you do that? Well, we want to extend to you an invitation to be our personal guest at our upcoming Investor Business Forum this week right here in the Valley. It's an exciting event. That's going to give Kevin and I an opportunity to meet you personally, and that's going to give you an opportunity to meet other team members. You're going to learn about Renatus, the premier real estate investing education system in America. You're going to learn facts about real estate investing in the state of Arizona as it is today, as well as other parts of the country. You're going to learn a lot. It's going to be an exciting event. And you know what? There's no cost because you're going to be our guest. To make that happen, you're going to have to give me a call. And I'll give you my phone number in a minute. But I want you to know when you call, you will get my voicemail. So for your sake, leave a message with your name and phone number, and I promise you I will get back to you. All right, here's my phone number. Get ready to write it down. Are you ready? 602-730-5645. That's 602-730-5645. Alice Montoya from Phoenix, Arizona is our guest. And Alice, I want to ask you a question. You've been with us now for a couple of years. You're laying the foundation for your Renatus business. Have you enjoyed, or are you enjoying the education program that you enrolled in with us?
Yes, I am.
What stands out in your mind that makes the Renatus real estate investing education system so different than what you see out in the market and hear on the radio today?
Well, it's practical, and it's simple, easy to follow. Mm-hmm. It's a step-by-step program. And it's allowed me, just with the Velocity Banking class, it's allowed me and Joe to apply for a $64,000 HELOC, and we were approved for $64,000.
Wow, good for you.
Yeah, and we're going to use that for future investments, and it's also taught us how to pay off our 11-year mortgage within the next 2 years.
No, wait a minute. Back up. You said you're paying off an 11-year. You got 11 years to go on your mortgage, right?
Yes.
And you're going to pay it off within 2 years?
Within 2 years.
Approximately how much interest are you and Joe going to save on that?
$10,000.
Wow.
Oh, my goodness. So the one strategy, and, this is something that cannot be overstated, and you mentioned it quickly here, Alice, is the Velocity Banking strategy. For our listeners, they're probably thinking, what is Velocity Banking? Well, Velocity Banking is a financial strategy that allows you to what we call sweep away your mortgage and eliminate a 30-year mortgage within 7 to 8 years without increasing your income. So, Alice, you and Joe were able to apply that to your existing mortgage. How does it feel knowing you're going to shave, 9 years of payments off of your mortgage and get out of debt?
Well, it feels wonderful knowing that we're going to owe our home free and clear and no longer make those monthly payments to a bank.
Yeah, doesn't that just give you a good, solid financial base when you have that eliminated? That's fantastic.
And you're doing this without increasing your income and without increasing your monthly outgo. Is that right?
That's true.
You're just repositioning your money, and you're not depending on the bank to do it for you.
Exactly.
And then you take $10,000, you put it back in your pocket. Are you guys going to take a nice vacation, celebrate?
That would be a great thing to do. I believe so, yes.
Oh, there Joe go. Say, we're going to go on a cruise, baby, because, yeah, well, it is. It's huge. And this is the thing with the education that Renatus provides. Is in addition to the real estate investing strategies, the ability to get better control of your finances and eliminate debt is huge. Go ahead, Dad.
You know, Alice, I tell everybody, you know, I'm 73 years old, and I didn't start my journey with Renatus until I was 64. And, of course, you know our story. You've heard it many times. Sylvia and I, we had our Christian counseling practice for 23 years and retired. And 6 weeks after we retired, we found out we lost most of our portfolio in the stock crash. And so 5 years later, we lived on what we had left. We ran out of money. So in 2009, we went through bankruptcy and foreclosure. That's when I was introduced to Renatus. And I decided at the young age of 64, I'm going to re-educate myself. And I'm going to learn how to become a successful real estate investor. Now, here's young Miss Alice Montoya, who's 47 years old. And I'm just kind of paraphrasing. You said one day, Joe, I'm going to learn how to become a successful real estate investor. The question I want to ask you, did you have any idea of the positive, proactive, profit-minded team of investors that you were going to become a part of?
No, I didn't.
How do you feel about the culture that you've embraced now as far as being part of our team and building other people's lives?
I love it, Dr. Gary. It's the culture is alive. The culture is thriving. The culture is exciting. We welcome new guests and our IMAs every week.
Mm-hmm.
This is a culture that we know where we're going, and we're there with humbled servant hearts, serving our community and serving our team.
And so, you know, in a lot of environments here, Alice, people get into business, then get real estate and financial transactions. It can get a little competitive. You know, I've been in environments before where people try to compete. Hey, I've earned more. I got more on this deal. I've eliminated debt quicker, faster. What kind of environment do you see with our investment team here? Is it that competitive? Is it a, hey, push, I'm better than you, trying to get ahead of people? How would you describe that?
No, it's not. It's a genuine environment. It's a warm environment. It's an environment where we don't compete with one another. We lift one another up. We extend a hand out, and we help others along their successful path as well.
Yeah, and we do. We celebrate each other's success because that's what it's about. You know, success creates more success. So when you're around people who are excited about what they're doing, you know, Alice, I'm a little bit behind you and Joe actually on my velocity banking. Lori and I just recently were able to remove and pay off our second mortgage. So we're just dealing with our first, but in about 7 years, we'll have our mortgage eliminated, and we're going to save about $100,000 in interest, mortgage interest.
Well, wasn't that a 30-year mortgage?
30-year mortgage, yeah. We just bought our house 2 years ago.
Wait a minute. I know you're the co-host here, but I want to ask you a question.
Okay.
You just joined our team 2 years ago.
Right.
And you have already enacted a financial program that's going to allow you to eliminate a 30-year mortgage in 7 years. You're going to save over $100,000 in interest.
Yeah, in mortgage interest. That money goes to so much more. So, Alice, you and Joe are a little bit in front of me on that because you have less time and you'll have yours paid off sooner. But I'm excited for you. And that goes to my point of environment, and that goes to my point of relationship.
Right.
Is we're excited for one another to have those success and reach those milestones.
Now, I want to ask you a question, Alice. You know, I said when I first brought you on the program that you really stepped out. You decided you're going to change the family legacy financially, and you did it by yourself, really. You did. You stepped out by yourself. You went to the regional without your husband. But now here we are 2 years later. What does Joe think about your choice of direction for your future financially? Is he behind you now? Is he with you? How's he responding?
I believe Joe is behind me 100%. He's very proud of what I've been able to do so far. And he's right alongside me, and we're doing this together. And he's watching his real estate investing classes.
Yeah.
Aside from, his full-time job.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, so
That
you're
is so cool.
learning together as a team is what I hear you saying.
Right, and we're attending the weekly property tours. We're attending our Super Saturdays, our live Super Saturday event.
And you guys are definitely plugged in. One thing that stands out to me in your story is your I guess confidence or your willingness to take a risk, Alice, to step out and impact your family. That's what I love about the strength you have as a person. And you said, yeah, I'm the wife. I'm the stay-at-home mom. I have some background in corporate America a little bit, but I'm going to take that first step to change our family's financial situation. And your husband, Joe, supporting you 100%. You guys have such a fantastic story. And I know as people are listening today, they're definitely blessed with what they're hearing.
That is so exciting. You listen to the Dr. G and Kevin Lawrence Show, and Alice Montoya from Phoenix, Arizona, right here in the Valley, is our special guest today. Ladies and gentlemen, we are doing it again. Yeah, we are. We're doing it again right here. This week, we're hosting another Investor Business Forum, and Kevin and I would love for you to be our personal guest. And it's an exciting event. This is not a boring business meeting. This is not one of those MLM opportunity meetings. This is a genuine investor business forum. You're going to learn about the premier real estate investing education system in America, Renatus. You're going to meet other men and women just like you that come from all walks of life, just like Alice that comes from a background of legal and accounting industry. And she says, I'm going to change my life, and I'm going to learn how to become a successful real estate investor. We want you to be our guest. There's no cost. I'm going to give you my phone number for your sake. Leave a message when you call, and I'll get back to you. Here it is. It's 602-730-5645. That's 602-730-5645. Alice Montoya is our guest. And, Alice, we just have a couple of minutes left. Would you speak from your heart to the heart of our audience and tell them why they should call me and what are they going to experience when they come to our Investor Business Forum? What's it like being there in that group on Thursday night? Would you share those thoughts with our audience?
Absolutely. Well, you should come to our events. Give Dr. Gary a call. Register to attend our events. These events are open to anyone who is ready to change their life and change their financial platform. Come with an open mind and open heart and see what's possible for you. Take a look at who we are and what we do as a company and as entrepreneurs and business owners and real estate investors.
Mm-hmm. Now, when our guests come, we're not going to tie their hands behind their back and put them in a corner and pressure them into anything, are we?
No, absolutely not.
Well, how did you feel the first time you came to our event, Alice?
Well, I knew that within a few minutes that this was a community I wanted to become a part of. Everyone was warm. Everyone was welcoming.
Yeah, and you knew that within a few minutes.
Within a few minutes, I sensed something different in that room. The love, the warmth, the acceptance, the vibe, I want to say. That This is an environment where there's like-minded individuals and people who are caring.
Alice Montoya, and now you're part of that culture, and I just want to say thank you in front of our live audience for all the service that you've given to Team Elevate Scottsdale. You're the bedrock of creating the culture that we're enjoying today. Thank you so much, Alice, okay?
Well, it's my pleasure, Dr. Gary. Thank you for having me on your show, and thank you, Kevin.
Oh, what an
Always
honor.
a pleasure, Miss Alice. Always a pleasure.
Ladies and gentlemen, you heard me say it earlier. If you don't know where you're going, any road will take you there. Is it time for you to change your direction? Let Kevin and I help you get on the right road. Change, when left to chance, gives birth to conflict. And if you don't change, things won't change. And I'll guarantee you this, the only thing that won't change is the fact that things will change. So what's the bottom line? Either you make the change or the change will make you. Success is not a destination, it's a journey, and you can succeed. All that's given to anyone is given to you. Now listen carefully. Success is never final, but failure is never fatal. And investment in knowledge will pay you the best return on your investment. You are full of the power of success. Now, why do I say this? Because greater is he that is in you than he that is in the world. I'm Dr. G, and I want you to create success. Why not start today?
It's been said, the best way to predict your future is to create it. No matter your circumstances, there is a solution to your situation. Dr. G and Kevin invite you to explore the possibilities of creating a new financial platform that you control and no longer allow yourself to be controlled by the circumstances of your life. Visit them at wealthempowers.com. That's WealthEmpowers.com. Come and meet Dr. G and Kevin at the Investor Business Forum. Oh, one last thought. Isn't it time for you to stop making a living and start making a life? Call Dr. G and Kevin at 602-730-5645. That's 602-730-5645.